Hey lovers, we are back with another episode of The Bachelor, and you will not believe who went home on episode 7. If you want to know, stick around and I will give you all the information you need.
Hello stranger, it's been a minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town.
Okay, so this week started off with Maria giving Joey a little ultimatum like, girl, you cannot do that. You've seen the show. You can. It is up to you also, but you already knew what was coming up, okay? So basically, Maria was saying how she feels a way about taking him home while he still has other connections with other women. So that was her little ultimatum. We're going to get more into that later once we actually get to their date, but that is how this week's episode started. Okay, y'all. They are still in Jasper, Canada. There are 6 women remaining. And yeah, basically Joey and Jesse, the hosts, were playing tennis, and Joey was letting him know how this is a big week since hometowns are approaching. He just wants to make sure he is finding his wife. Okay. Speaking of wife, I don't know if this is going to be who he chooses, but she is still in my top 2, and I don't know who she's in my top 2 with currently. But yeah, Daisy got the first one-on-one, and everyone has had a one-on-one since Daisy, so it makes sense for it to be given to her. All right, so they went horseback riding and hot tubbing, of course, in true Bachelor fashion. You know they got to put the hot tub in the nature. Signature Bachelor date, okay? He said that she is the only one that hasn't expressed feelings for him yet, so he's hoping that she opens up. During their date, they just talked about how, what they want from their partner. They both basically, in short, said how they want unconditional love, okay? Daisy did let him know at the nightcap that she isn't in love with him yet, but she does see the potential. So she also let him know how her family is super protective of her. Because again, I think they would have been protected whether she was sick before or not, but he let her know like that doesn't scare him. He still wants to meet the family and ended up giving her a rose. Afterwards, they ended up playing some ice hockey, and that was their date. Next up was a group date with Kelsey T, Rachel, Maria, and Jen. Jen was upset because she just feels like she should have had the one-on-one with him, which I think she was the second one-on-one date. I'm not sure, but it seemed like it was about time for her to get the second one-on-one. Anyway, what they did on their date, they were basically lumberjills, rolling logs, throwing axes, and doing all the things that, again, do not seem fun to me. But I guess he wants to see how they work in the wild. Okay, y'all, have fun. Whatever the little competition was, Kelsey ended up winning that. And Jen went over to sneak a kiss, which wasn't quite sneaky because everyone saw and the ladies did feel away. At the nightcap, Jen let him know how this has been one of the hardest weeks for her because she really wanted a one-on-one, which I feel like everyone wanted a one-on-one at this point. So Tough Titty says the kitty to Jen. She also let him know how she never brought anyone home. He again said he wouldn't be scared of that, and he also let her know that when they're together he is 100% in their relationship, which I hope he feels that way with all the women, okay? Because during this whole process they're each his girlfriend. So next, Kelsey T let him know how her feelings are really strong. She also let him know that her dad, who we talked about in a previous episode as well, her dad didn't know where she was at the time. Like, I'm like, girl, you didn't tell your daddy you was going to The Bachelor? I guess she was waiting to see if she got chose. Next up, he did tell Rachel how he loves how confident she is in their relationship. Even though I really like Rachel, I don't know if she's the person for him. She did say how she said in a previous week how she's so busy at work. And I don't know. I feel like I see chemistry with other people more than with Rachel, but I do really like Rachel. And then there's Maria. I told y'all Maria gonna stress this man out. So how the episode started, this is where we are now. And again, she's just letting him know how, it just doesn't sit right with her introducing him to her family while he still has all these other connections. He asked her if she's done. She got up, took a exit stage left. I don't know which way is left for y'all, but whatever. And then he looked stressed, y'all. But she ended up coming back and she didn't go nowhere. We knew Maria wasn't going nowhere at that time. Okay, let's say that. She did say how she was scared of her feelings because she sees him with other women. So it all makes sense. Ultimately, he ended up not giving out a group date rose. He said he needs more time to decide. So we will see. Instead, he gave out hugs. And in that moment, Joey, I don't need a hug. I need a ring. Okay, but before we get to the ring, I need a rose. So he didn't give out any roses. He didn't give out any rings. Everybody has to stay tuned. Next up was his date with Kelsey A. Now, they went on a date recently, so I didn't feel like she was deserving of another one-on-one date yet. But hey, who am I? I'm just a viewer here to give recaps. So they went trying on hats, sunglasses, played pool, and a local Canadian let them know that it was the day for the Polar Plunge Palooza, I think is what it's called. And that's where crazy people go jumping in crazy cold water. And that is exactly what they did. Okay, so he did let her know how strong and brave she is, smart also. She talked to him about hometowns, potentially hometowns, and how we'll be meeting her dad. He, of course, ended up giving Kelsey A the rose. Next, he canceled the cocktail party, which I was kind of surprised because I feel like he does have connections with all of these women. So I would try to see, like, okay, let me see if anything's going to swing this way or that way. But I guess he didn't need it. So he canceled the cocktail party, although he did still have a second to pull Maria and talk to her. And that's where she let him know how she really does like him. Her insecurities got the best of her and she does want to stay. So yeah, 2 women already had roses, Daisy and Kelsey A. There were only 2 roses to give out. He ended up giving the first rose to Rachel and the second rose was given to, drumroll please, put your guesses in the comments down below. Who you think gonna get that second rose? Let's see if you're right. He gave it to Maria. All right, so that meant Kelsey T and Jen went home. And I was kind of surprised to see Jen go home. Not really Kelsey T, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on who went home. I mean, everybody got to go except for one. So, hey, next week is hometown. So I'm excited to see how the families react to Joey, if they'll also think he's a stand-up guy. So we shall see. All right, y'all, I will catch you on the next one.